Hi, how's everybody doing today? I'm over here at the motel. We're still packing up, waiting to move out of here. So I was coming across these videos, and this guy right here, Hal Sparks, is he's a known. He comes out and says it himself that he's a Freemason. So what these people do is they give you truth in plain sight, and what we're watching here is this Freemason, Hal Sparks, is going to be trolling Alex Jones about with what Alex Jones is telling the world right now that old Mr. Trump is he's gone, but he's physically still here. But he's getting what I call is he's getting the general population softened up to the idea when Trump passes on. The cult members don't lose their fucking minds and start doing crazy shit all throughout the country. So there's the mega is a cult, just like anything else. These people, these boomers, mostly baby boomers, they've been brainwashed and propagandized longer than we have. So at first I was mad at the boomers. I'm like, well, these selfish bastards are one of the reasons why behind destruction of our country, because they're greedy pigs. So I've come to think about it, and it's because of these chicken swingers that manipulate everything, and they're behind the scenes of everything that control our society that we have going on here. And once you remove that situation from happening in your country is prosperous. And I'm not talking about violence. We just ask them to leave, go wherever they want to go, but just not here. So anyway, what I do is on my videos, I'm not monetized, never been monetized. I use my camera on my phone and my tablet here, or One Touch, or whatever it's called, a notebook. The One Touch is from the times I used to collect sports cards. So I've been exposing this kind of stuff for over 10 years on here, and there's a lot of other people that do the same thing. They have professional equipment, and the one guy's a professional comedian, Jake Gibson. He's funny. He did a very funny skit with Elmo before he put it behind a paywall. He was one of the funniest skits I've seen someone do. I have to give him credit on that. So we're going to go through this video. I'm going to show you how this guy is getting you softened up for when Trump meets his maker. So this is how they work it. And watch this. He's going to say jokes
but now. I wonder how Trump feels about the idea that if he ever had a Lincoln-type statue, it would have cankles.
Yeah, that's true.
And you'd have maggots all over the country making the Hajj pilgrimage to go see it and sign his cankles. Everybody, that's what you bring. You bring a red, white, one of those pens that's a Sharpie that writes in red, white, and blue at the same time, and you sign his cankles.
But the old Trump,
listen,
that went through so much and got so much done, and that's the Trump we remember. And we're...
Yeah, you mean the one you made up in your fucking head?
Just sad, because that happens. We need to be sad about Trump. This is not funny.
It's kind of funny. It's actually really funny.
This is funny what he's getting ready to say.
Funny.
Watch.
This is not good.
Not good.
But he's gone.
Go! Oh, he's gone. Never coming back.
This is classic.
Especially because he was never really here to begin with. It's like one of those ghost stories where you pick up a hitchhiker in the middle of the night. She leaves a blue sweater in your car, and you're like, that's Carol. She died in a car accident 10 years ago. She's been haunting that stretch of road forever. It's like, that's what Donald Trump is.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all. He's gone.
And all...
I can't tell if I'm sniffling because of tears or I got a big whack of Adderall caught in my nostril. Probably both.
The people rallied around him. You can see Hex's freaked out.
Yeah, but that's how he normally is, so snafu.
See, the press secretary's freaked out. They're being loyal.
Because they don't have a choice? Because he can shoot them in the middle of Fifth Avenue?
They think it's the lesser of two evils, and okay, but
maybe it is. Maybe I'm just saying Harris wouldn't have gotten us into this shit. What am I doing? Why am I even saying this out loud? Why am I
Anyways, Trump needs intervention.
Yeah, maybe you should start drinking.
He's take some time off.
Like about the rest of his life.
We need to pray for Trump, the Holy Spirit.
Okay, you see what I mean? This is classic. This is funny. This dude's a liberal, and of course he's a Christian conservative, allegedly. This guy's a whole character in himself. He can get down a rabbit hole. Bill Cooper exposed him in the 90s, and if you look up the 1999 radio broadcast this dude was doing, saying that the end of the world was going on, and there were tanks in New York City and shit like that, and people were rioting everywhere. He started a riot. He started a second riot. The Pandemonium started. It was like George Orwell with the world. It was so realistic. People thought that the world was being attacked by aliens and shit. So yeah, this dude's exposing this dude, but they're both, see the symbols, everybody, they're all involved in it. They're all in the same, they're in the same club, they're Freemasons. And they give out the stories, they're putting the stories out there so the general population will take it, because people watch different things. I watch everything, I do. I watch everything about anything that has to do with everything. And I go into it without any decision, like I don't have a bias on either side yet. There are many people I agree with on here, and many people I don't. But I still watch them. Unless they're just vulgar people and do vulgar shit, and I block them. But you have to learn from your adversaries. They're telling you. They have to tell you what they're doing. It's just it's part of a bigger universal thing. Even these people that don't believe in God. Yes, the people in Israel, for instance, there's 60% of them in Israel that do not believe that God exists. I know the irony of it is unreal, but that's the truth. So if you say they want to ask him a question, because I've seen many videos on it, you say, hey, do you believe in God? They say, oh, no, I don't believe in God. And you say, oh, do you believe that God promised you this land? Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, God promised us this land. And you say, you don't believe in God? Oh, no, I don't believe in God. No. But you believe that God gave you this land? Oh, yes, that he did. Yes. That's the kind of people you're dealing with. They're brainwashed. But that's a regular person, okay? It's taken decades to get them to submit to that type of level of propaganda that they actually believe this, They're telling you half-truth. Like, their truth is they don't believe in it. But it doesn't matter if they believe it or not. It's that you believe in it for it to work. See what I mean? The same thing with this. This man is still walking around, and I wish him the best. I don't wish no harm on anybody. God's going to put judgment on every leader, on everybody. And your own karma, universe. Even if you don't believe in God, your karma is how you treat people and how you treat animals and nature and how you live accordingly to that. And the deeds that you do, good and bad, or judge, you're putting that on your soul. We're here to learn off each other and help each other. We're not supposed to be at war with each other. We're not supposed to be doing these things. You're not supposed to have usury. You're not supposed to have, you never were asked to be born on this into this earth. So by being born on this earth entitles you to have certain things. And who decided that it was, who decided to start charging people to live on earth? I mean, you were born here just like everybody else. So who was behind the concept of charging people to be born on earth? And who gave these people the authority to do that, And it's been going on for a while. You're not, like I keep telling people, like, oh, we live in a democracy. No, you don't live in a democracy. You're supposed to live in a democratic republic, but you don't even have that. You have a corporate oligarchy. You have oligarchies, and usually nepotism is involved in this also, because these people one families own a whole bunch of corporations. So they have hundreds of millions of dollars, and they influence the politicians, and they decide who's president. And they decide who's going to run these things. It's that simple. If you ask Google, if you ask the AI about a billionaire, say how much influence does one billionaire have over an election, and they'll tell you they have a more political say and more influence than 10 million registered voters. and they have 50% more influence over the other 10 million registered voters. So we have over 900 billionaires in America alone, over 900 of them, and one can influence 10 million voters. So there's only 330 million people allegedly on Earth. In America. They love the 33s, but yeah, allegedly that's the population. Last time I checked, it was 300 million. But I guess 30 million more had come in. So if that's even accurate, but it's all Freemason stuff. They all work this together. Even the timeline when he starts punching into this, getting into the skit that he's just doing, which is fucking hysterical. I mean, this shit's funny. You have to laugh, and this is how you mock them. Like, you mock them by doing what he's doing to Alex Jones with truth, not just a bunch of bullshit and come off hate with hate, because it's not about hate. It's about facts and truth. And the evidence is overwhelming. It's just overwhelming. And I've been looking into this stuff, this one particular group of people, for over 10 years, like reading about them. I have journals where I write in it, things I've learned. And I suggest everybody, get a notebook and write down everything that you go through in a day. Just keep writing about it, because it helps you stay focused on what you need to do, and it also brings things into perspective, that people do change, and what your ideas and your concepts are. Basically, if you live in a moral way and try to treat people with respect and help those that you can help, and along with paying your bills and doing the best you can do, being a civilized person, that you'll see that no matter what kind of bad times come in your life, you're still living in a sense of you're happy about who you are, and you're happy with what you stand for, and that it's just something as simple as just treating people with respect, and not blaming people for situations that are going on that you can control. But there is a reason why this happens. There is a reason why people are being evicted. There's a reason why people are losing their cars, and it's not just them not being able to make payments. It's that they were put in a position to not succeed. They were put in a position to lose the car, to lose the house. It was done intentionally through usury and illegal banking practices and illegal credit systems that shouldn't even exist. The whole thing is illegal, and it's immoral, and it's unethical. And the only time that you can find in the Bible that when Jesus lost his temper, and he was angry for a reason. He went into the temple and hit these people with belt and got them out of the temple, because what they were doing, it was usury inside the temple, setting up loans and doing practices that would put people in economical debt for the rest of their life, just like Joseph did to the Egyptians when he was having the dreams and all that. At the end of all the things that the Egyptians had to give away to get grain, at the end, their freedom was their actual liberation. They turned themselves into emancipated people. They were free from the king, and then when Joseph wrote the laws, and the king agreed that they were now the king's property, along with every generation born after them. So that's how the Jews were enslaved in Egypt in the Bible, because Joseph, the Jew that had the law written in, so he can extort money from the Egyptian people and loot and purge their country, backfired on them. Which Moses did the same. Like when they left Egypt, they purged and looted the country. They stole all the silver and gold that they can carry, and that's why the king went after them. So that's one of the reasons. But the fact of the matter is, the truth is out there in front of you, and you got to be open-minded to it. You have to be understanding that you may make decisions that at the time you think are right, and you think that that's the truth that you're getting ready to put out there and share with other people. But also, if you're wrong and somebody comes to your section and they say this and this happened, you can take a look at it and investigate it for yourself and see if they're right or wrong, but then explain to them, if they're wrong about it, or if they're right, give them credit for it. But there's a lot of trolls, a lot of bots that come to the channel, on everybody's channels, so not just mine. But I have been shadow banned I haven't gained any subscriptions, nor have I lost any subscriptions in the last 5 years. And I put videos out all the time, you know. And a lot of them are just like, you know, very good common sensical stuff. And I share my life experiences, playing tennis and stuff, going back, fighting against diabetes too, and changing my diet and doing better things, you know. And going through, you know, recently in January, I was evicted from my apartment for 8 years that I lived at, you know, and over a court document that wasn't signed, you know, like wasn't presented to the court. We actually had paid all these fees for being late and paid all these court costs. And then in January, I was sitting there, had a toothache, and I was laying in my bed, and the sheriff told us we had 15 minutes to get our stuff out. So we did that, and then lived in our car for like a month, did Instacarting, and then we got our own place, you know. You have to wait your time to get back at these folks for doing that to you through the law. You know, you get an attorney, and you go after these folks, because what they do is do illegal stuff, and they do illegal stuff to people that don't have the money for an attorney to fight back. But you have to be patient and get an attorney to represent you in any time that you're, you know, something like that happens. Because in nowadays times, you have a renter's insurance on your, you know, like we had renter's insurance, and all my stuff had gotten taken and stolen from me because they literally opened the house up to give us a chance to come back by law to pick up our stuff, and they put it outside, and you know, expensive baseball cards and football cards and all kinds of stuff, autographed stuff that I've gotten over the years from band members that aren't around no more. You know, I had an original poster signed by all the original members of Depeche Mode, and also The Cure, and Ian McCullen from Echo and Bunny Man with Will Sargent, and what the hell's the dude's name? I forget his last name. Will Sargent was the singer. I think it's Will something too. His name's Will Harris, I think it is, the drummer. So anyway, yeah, they had that a bunch of little stuff like that. That's worth thousands of dollars. So you gotta wait. You know, what they do is illegal. Usually, it started all this. They're putting people into situations. If one accident happens in a person's lifetime, they can lose everything, and that's pretty much what happened. Ashley hurt her knee, and was out of work for like 2 weeks, and with my money that I had and her money put together is enough to pay for everything. And then we had to get a new tire on the car, so then things happened. So in between then, so we made arrangements to make payments and did what we were supposed to do by law, and we did it, and it's still bad business was done. So you have to, if they want to, the truth will speak for itself. And when you just take their money from them, that's how you destroy these organizations. Just don't pay taxes to none of this stuff, and you share videos like I'm doing, and make little videos or whatever, just mirror it. I don't care if this guy copyright, he can have all the revenue from this video. I don't care. It's not a problem. It is funny though. So I'm just letting you know, I know what these people are doing. I know who they are, who they operate. They even tell you they're all Freemasons. And it's, these funny shit
Touch
though.
his heart.
But not too hard, because it might pop. Fucking fish sandwiches.
And loose him from whatever evil control he's under. I'm serious.
Yeah, you don't sound serious, but I believe that you are. There's a demon. The demon that sneaks up in the middle of the night, crawls up next to Trump while he's sleeping a half hour a night, and crawls up into his ear and whispers, "Potatoes and chicken," and he just wakes up, grabs his phone and goes, "Tariffs!" How do you fight a demon like that? What are we supposed to do?
Keep an eye out for the end times.
Probably that's what we gotta do. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it.
See, they mock it. The whole thing's a mockery, but there's so much truth in what he's saying and doing. Mega's a cult. They're trying to bring about the end times, because you have to understand what kind of people you're dealing with. This is the brazenness of them. They believe that they can tell God what to do and when he's going to come back and things like that. This is the Jewish religion, Judaism. So they think that they have to start wars and make it so horrible on earth that the Messiah comes back. That's their belief system. Now, to deal with somebody like that, that has a belief system that's so enthralled and brought it, through generations of this stuff, and the whole thing is fraudulent. I'm going to do a video on it. It's completely fraudulent. The language is made up. The religion is made up. There's only one group of people that actually know the original language from the time of, because before this guy came around in the 1800s, nobody spoke Hebrew anymore. They were speaking Yiddish. And it's a form of German, Polish, and French mixed together. And it's called Yiddish. And in the 1800s, a Russian, Jewish Russian guy, was a mathematician or something like that. He came across the language and made up the language. And it's nothing compared to the old language, the old Hebrew. The Samaritans speak it. They recite it out of the Bible, out of their Hebrew Bible, and they also speak it. There was a guy, I think his name is Olive Roots, and he was speaking about it. He was saying that he lived in Palestine, and he didn't even know these people were around. And he was like, yes, the original people, the true, people that were around during biblical times. They can trace it back to their DNA and their original, how they do business and their religion. And before Israel became a state in the 40s, I believe, there was peace and harmony in that area in Jerusalem and all over in that region, with Muslims, Christians, and Jews all living in peace. So just to let you know that was going on before this came about. And it's a spark off World War III, and to get the population down and give it one more last looting and purging before they reset everything. This is where wealth is built for generations. That's how they do it. Because we'll be long gone and buried, and nobody will really know the truth anymore, because the families that control things now will have it all erased. So when their family members are, get older and stuff, they'll be able to rule the world without anybody knowing what kind of villainous assholes their ancestors were, because they'll control the historical venue on what's going on. And just like they did before, they erased. There's apparently 250 to 500 years they're just made up, and from scientists talking about it, and the historians. So they believe that the majority of the scientists that study this type of stuff, transcript languages and calendars and things like that, they believe that we're actually in the 1700s. That's from the calendars being switched around so much. And that's why, the calendars making the day, turning the night and stuff like that, messing and taking an hour away, adding an hour away and all that stuff, it messes your sleep cycle up. So without proper sleep and without proper cycle with the moon and and the earth, it throws your balance off. It can make people walk around, with a cloudy mind and things like that. It throws your balance off, your chi, as the Chinese talk about, which is right. Everybody has energy. You're electrical, and you have energy inside you. And that's why Jesus said that. He said the kingdom of heaven is inside you. Literally, you're walking around looking for it, and it's right inside you. That's the truth. And you have to be aware of that. That's the truth. That you are a creation of the Most High, and He loves you, and He's not about wars. There's different gods in the Bible, and that's what Jesus exposed. That's why I told these people, you're from the synagogue of Satan, and your father is the devil. You're not capable of talking, speaking truth, because there's no truth in you, And it makes a lot of sense on some of the other stuff he said. Because he said to one of the disciples, let the dead bury their dead, So that means these people are soulless, literally have no soul, and there's no way they could be redeemed. So let them go their way, That's why I believe the island theory should be something that we should look into. There's a lot of important people that were involved in that, and everybody needs to know who they are. And I want to know the people that work for them. I want to know the cooks. I want to know the servants, the maids, everybody that was involved in that, the island. I want to know everything about them. You mean to tell me they were doing all kinds of shit like that, and you're working the job there, and you don't know that that kind of stuff's going on? You didn't report that stuff to the FBI, or even take things in your own hands to put in justice for the families? Very sus to me. Very sus. That means that even if that's the case, then they actually have people that have family members that are generational butlers, generational housekeepers, generational garden people that have been known by, they live by one rule: they don't tell anybody about what's going on. To me, that's just as bad as the people doing that stuff. So there's a lot of things that need to change, and people should be held accountable. And I'm going to close this video off by, go check this dude out. It's no, he's a Freemason, and you're going to get truths from this stuff. You are. You have to be use discernment and know what kind of people is giving you the information, and use comedy too to mock these people. Like, that's what Jake does. That he does a good job. Guys like that use comedy and truth. Like, he's being funny about stuff, but he's also speaking to you in a truthful manner about exposing some, like, guys like the fittest flat earther and stuff like that. That stuff, it's kind of commonsensical. We all know there's something off with these people that live long lives, and they don't age like everybody else. There's a lot of things off with them, but there's more important things that we need to be concerned about. And one, I don't give a shit what the fucking shape of the earth is. That's secondary later on. We need to get our freedoms back. That's what we need to work on, getting our countries back, and going back to the ways that, like with gold and silver being the currency that backs our currency, and having more of people being held accountable for treason and sedition and things of that nature. Just we can't take this stuff lightly. We have to nip it in the bud, and then later on we can get to the truth, because the people that are keeping the truth from us will be in prison, and we'll be able to get everything we need to know. But first we have to hold these people accountable for these crimes, all of them, and they need to be arrested and prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and then we have to confiscate all the stuff that they stole from us, and that's every country, and give it back to the people that they took it from, and set up the system the way it's supposed to be to begin with. For every person that's American, they have medical treatment, and they have affordable housing, and they have a chance to make a proper working wage. And billionaires shouldn't exist, tax them out of existence. Henry George, I think, it's George Henry. He had a perfect tax system for this stuff, and they were using it before this fuckery came along in the 1900s with the Federal Reserve, and it worked perfect. So, and it's still being used in one state that I'm aware of, somewhere in one city, somewhere in Massachusetts. So I have to look into that. Anyway, we'll get back with you soon. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this psyop that Trump is Trump on his way out, man. How long do you give him? Just wondering. A lot of people talking about it.